host for this evening. Karen and I switch off being hosts, and tonight is my turn. I'm Hank Philippi Ryan, the USA Today bestselling author of 14 going on 15 novels of suspense. My current book is The House Guest, which is now in second printing after 6 days. It's sort of Gaslight meets Thelma and Louise meets Strangers on a Train. I'm also the investigative reporter for Boston's Channel 7, having won 37 Emmys for investigative reporting. And my new book, One Wrong Word, comes out on February 6th. It's sort of Suits meets Scandal, Greed, Gossip, and Revenge. And you will hear a lot about that when the time comes. So let me introduce you now to our wonderful new authors. I've got them in alphabetical order, and that is how I will do that, even though I'm not seeing them on the screen. I want you to know a little bit about each of the 4 people that is here tonight. Alan Eskens, hey Alan, is the best-selling author of 8 novels, including The Life We Bury and Nothing More Dangerous. His 9th novel, Saving Emma, do you have it there? Hold it up. Do you have a copy of it? Don't be afraid. Hold it up. We want to see that. I love that. Saving Emma comes out on September 19th of this year, so coming right up, and you will hear about it here first. He is the recipient of the Barry Award and Minnesota Book Award, among others, and has been a finalist for the Edgar, Anthony, and Thriller Awards. His books have been translated into 26 languages. Alan has a journalism degree from the University of Minnesota and a law degree from Hamline University. After law school, he studied creative writing in the MFA program at Minnesota State University. Alan grew up in the hills of central Missouri. He now lives with his wife, Jolie, in Greater Minnesota. In Greater Minnesota? Is there like a lesser Minnesota?
I used to call it outstate Minnesota, but people got mad when you called it outstate. It was like it was some other place. So they prefer Greater Minnesota. So there's the Twin Cities, and then the rest of us are Greater Minnesota.
Oh, the Twin Cities, and then like everywhere else, we have no idea where this is. It's just out there.
Exactly.
That's kind of hilarious. That's kind of hilarious. Well, welcome. I'm a huge fan. I'm glad you're here tonight. Our next author tonight is Alex Hay. Wake up, Alex. It's midnight in London. And if you hear Alex talking softly, he's trying to make sure that the other people in his household do not wake up, if that's not the cutest thing I've ever heard. So sweet of you. Alex grew up in Cambridge and Cardiff and has been writing as long as he can remember. He studied history at the University of York and wrote his dissertation on female power at royal courts. You should ask him about that. So cool. He has worked in magazine publishing and the charity sector and is a graduate of the Curtis Brown Write Your Novel course. The Housekeepers, hold that up, it's gorgeous, look at that. The Housekeepers is his debut novel and won the Caledonia Novel Award 2022. The Housekeepers, listen to this, is Downton Abbey meets Ocean's 11. In this story of a cool-headed housekeeper enacting the most audacious robbery high society has ever seen. It's great. Alex lives with his husband in Southeast London, who is probably asleep right now. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
We could wake him up. Come in here. We'll see you.
I love it.
It's so kind of you to stay up so late, Alex. Are you usually up this late?
Sometimes I'm a night owl. I'm trying to go to bed earlier to write early in the mornings. But for this, delighted to be here. So thrilled. Thank you for having me.
We're very grateful. Thank you. And on the other side of the world, Kirsty Manning is the best-selling author of 4 historical fiction books, including The Song of the Jade Lily and The French Gift. The Paris Mystery, hold that up, it is so gorgeous and so good, is her first foray into classic mysteries and a sexy Agatha Christie-style mystery set in pre-war Paris. It's like Grace is nodding, like it's really good, isn't it, Grace? It's fantastic. And it just came out a few weeks ago, so brand new. Her historical novels have been published in Australia and New Zealand, North America, UK, South Africa, and translated into many languages, including German, Dutch, Hebrew, Russian, and Serbian. So are the covers all different?
They are all completely different.
Oh, marvelous. I'd love to see those. Kirsty grew up in northern New South Wales, Australia, and has degrees in literature and communications. She lives now in Melbourne. Together with her husband, she is a partner in the award-winning Melbourne wine bar, Bellotta, and the Prince Wine Store in Melbourne and Sydney. So she is a good pal to have, a very good pal to have in so many ways. Welcome.
Thank you.
And our 4th panelist tonight is Iris Yamashita, an Academy Award nominated screenwriter known for the movie Letters from Iwo Jima, directed by Clint Eastwood. And we will just mic drop right there. Before writing, she received her degrees in engineering at UC San Diego and UC Berkeley, and spent a year at the University of Tokyo studying virtual reality. Again, so cool. She pursued fiction writing as a hobby until being discovered by a CAA agent through a screenplay contest. Beside film and books, Iris has written a musical for Tokyo Disneyland. I think that's a first around here, and is now under contract to write an audio drama series for BBC Radio. City Under One Roof, as you see behind Iris right now, hold it up, it's so good. Her debut mystery novel. Aline, have you read this yet? I see you. Hi, Aline. Have you read it yet? It's terrific. Oh, I think you're going to be muted forever. So just put, here, you just put the review in the chat. Imagine that. Perfect. Terrific. Phew. The follow-up book, Village in the Dark, is scheduled to be released in February 2024. And I cannot wait to read that. I'm going to my mailbox right now to look for that. Should I do that? Let me start with Alex, who is the first person on my screen. Alex, describe one thing on your desk.
Oh gosh, a massive pot of coffee, the most essential element of all.
A whole pot of coffee on your desk?
Well, not right now, actually,
No, but I mean,
at this hour, but in general, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got to start the day with a good strong black coffee.
And how much coffee do you think you drink a day? And it's coffee, not tea?
Oh, it's always coffee, never tea, which is very non-English of me. And I cannot tell you how much I drink a day because you will probably have me committed. So enough to keep the juices flowing.
That first sip of coffee in the morning, though, isn't it so delicious?
It's the best one.
Best, very best. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Kirsty, do you listen to music while you write?
I don't listen to it while I'm writing because I find I get sidetracked by it, but I listen to it constantly. I do a lot of my writing in my head while I'm walking, and when I walk, I listen to music constantly. And depending on my mood, whether it's everything from electronic music to classical, I listen to it constantly. I would listen to music 6 hours a day, really, all the time, except for when I'm writing.
I mean, this book is so of a time. Did you listen to music from that time as well?
I did. I listened. I watched a lot of musicals. I looked at a lot of photographs, and I listened to some of the music from that era. But I mean, it's always a trick when you're writing historical fiction. You want to immerse yourself in the history of the era, but you also have to keep it quite contemporary and fresh. Like you have to, current readers have to love it. So it can't be too ye olde worldy or too close to that. So you've got to honor the past, but keep it fresh. It's a fine line.
I love that. We're going to all steal ye olde worldy. We totally get that. Totally get that. Iris, what was your very first job?
I did a lot of temp jobs when I was in college. Like, I don't know which one was first, but every summer or winter, I'd be doing like filing jobs or counting or just very menial kind of things during my breaks.
Yeah. Did you get anything from those jobs? Any understanding? Any ideas of the world from those jobs?
It did make me really grateful to be going to college so that I wouldn't have to be doing those jobs forever. Like, I think one of them was being an operator at the Zynolite paint company. Maybe I shouldn't have said their name, but anyway, it's just like, what's your order? And then writing it down. So it made me very grateful that I was going to college and maybe could be doing something that might require a little more thinking, I guess.
Yeah. But that puts you in the world. That keeps the world going. We're all a part of this. So it's cool to have those jobs. It really makes a difference. It makes a difference. Ellen, a different kind of question for you. What was your very first car?
My very first car was a Pontiac GTO, 1970 GTO. I love that car. I had to sell it to get money to go to college, but man, that was a fun car to have.
That's a cool car. There's songs about it.
Yeah, it was a muscle car. It was a very fast car.
And you remember it fondly.
Very fondly.
That's great. That's great. Alex, we'll start with you. We've asked you to recommend a book. What book are you recommending to our attendees?
I am recommending The House of Stairs by Barbara Vine, although I realise my camera may be doing mirror view, so you'll have to trust me that
No, it's
this
fine.
is what this is. I adore this novel. I read it years ago and actually need to reread it. It's just a very, very fine suspense novel that has all the things I love the most: big houses, eccentric cast of characters, and in a Barbara Vine novel, you can be pretty sure that there's also a death at the heart of it, but whose and for what reason are the questions that propel this plot. So I foist The House of Stairs on everybody. But if you don't care for it, you must never tell me, because I would be devastated.
I can't wait to read it. That sounds great. She's amazing. She is amazing. Kirsty, what book are you recommending?
I am recommending, it's actually not a novel, it's one I've just started reading off my husband's bedside table. It's Stanley Tucci's Taste. I was watching he's got a new series where he kind of just ambles around Italy eating. And I think I've got a bit of a crush on him, actually. But he just describes like eating. He does these little food blogs. He's just got that really dry sense of irony and wit, and he loves good food, and he describes it really well. And he's a hell of a writer. It's just a really good brain break between. I'm not saying it's not weighty. It reflects on all elements of his life, and he's certainly had heartbreak, a lot of heartbreak, and it meanders over the highs and the lows in his life, and it does it in bite-sized pieces, so to speak. But yeah, I think sometimes I just like to mix it up. I love reading memoir, and I love reading history, and I love reading obviously all range of novels, but sometimes just like little essay pieces or anecdotes really kind of freshen the brain.
I started, Grace is saying, I love reading Tucci's Taste. Grace says, I'm a foodie. And love watching that show too. He's so genuine about it.
Yeah.
Iris, what book are you recommending?
Okay, so the book that I'm recommending is, here we go, Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. And if you want to be transported, this is the book for you. It has a little bit of everything. It takes place in Barcelona in the 1940s. It's got mystery, it's got drama, it's got romance, it feels literary. There's a complex web of characters, and it's perfect for book lovers because the premise is sort of that the protagonist finds this book in a secret cemetery of forgotten books, and he's tasked with protecting one of the books. But then he discovers that some stranger is systematically destroying every copy of every book this author has ever written. So there's a mystery of trying to find out who that person is and who this author is, and the author's life. So it's very engaging.
And finally, Alan, what book are you recommending?
I am recommending Lisa Jewell's None of This Is True. And this is not the actual cover. This is the ARC. But I had the privilege of interviewing her, doing a In Conversation With event when she came to the Twin Cities. And she's a lovely person. I hadn't read her work before, but this book really struck me. It's got a very slow burning tension to it, great character development, and the ending is one of those endings that have you questioning what it was you just read. It was you walk away going, oh wow, that was a really good ending. At least I did. So I was very impressed with it, and so I'm recommending it.
Wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed that taste of what a backroom session is like. But more fun comes immediately afterward. That's when the audience is broken up into 4 breakout rooms, and each author in turn visits each room. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like, because those relaxed face-to-face conversations between best-selling authors and readers are the hallmark of backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded, because what's said in the back room stays in the back room.